What epic moves can Disney make to compete with Universal? We'll tell you what we think. Plus, this week's Wet Spaghetti. Let's bring back the magic.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.
Yeah, all right. Welcome to another episode of Bring Back the Magic podcast. This episode is sponsored by Choice Fine Art. You can find them on the web at choicefineart.com and search from a whole catalog of Disney artwork, comic artwork, you name it, contemporary artwork. They've got it on there. What a beautiful selection of just really things that everyone would love to own. So check them out at choicefineart.com. Sorry, I can't speak. And it's a sponsor of Festival of Friends. So I feel like you're like with green gravy. That's it. I am one of your hosts. I'm Josh.
Guys, I am his sister Gina. For those of you just joining us, welcome aboard. If you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video if you enjoy it and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos that we might be putting out here. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I guess, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please follow green gravy. Please follow us. Like us and give us a comment, and then we will read them and we will be like, thanks. We appreciate it. Good job. Guys. Just want to comment on this.
I'm just going to leave now.
This hat I'm wearing right now says, guys, for those of you listening, you don't see
yeah, that's the hat I got Gina because she says that on social media 8,000 times. It's great. That's her thing.
Videos. Guys, exclamation point.
So as you're watching this particular episode, that means it's airing the same day as people arriving for Festival of Friends.
So exciting.
So that's an exciting thing. So we know that we're probably right now in the future, because we're future Josh and Gina, getting all excited like a kid at Christmas to welcome all of our friends to our most favorite place on earth. That's Walt Disney World. And so I guess with the timing, as we're going, this timing right now, I'll be sitting in a lobby of at the Bellevue Lounge.
The Bellevue will both be. Sitting at the Bellevue, giving packet pickup and giving everybody their goodies.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate this. I mean, it goes the day of, but we're going to be in Disney. And if anybody wants to run into us, they're more than welcome to.
Yes.
You know, because we love seeing people. Not anybody in a weird way, like somebody, hey, I really hate you guys. I'm going to come up punch Josh in the face. That ship has sailed. Okay, nobody gets to punch me anymore.
That train has sailed.
Oh, sorry, unfortunately. But yeah, so we've been really preparing, doing stuff, scrambling for last minute details, and I'm just stoked. I think this is going to be one for them for their memory book, and
for sure.
People are going to be very happy with what's going on. I'm still freaking out. I'm sure it's still at this moment freaking out about certain little last minute details because there's things that need to ship, need to get places, need to go and be assembled. So
shipping in general has been very delayed in certain respects. For the first time in a long time, other than like COVID time, I feel like I'm like ordering things on Amazon. It goes, it'll be here tomorrow. And then all of a sudden you get, I don't know when that's coming. And you're like, what? And then, you know, so I've had that happen several times. But then we'll go to mail a giveaway to California and it gets there in 2 days. You're like, what's happening here? So I don't know. So that is the hard part about when you're trying to get everything together. That's also the hard part with last minute ideas, because you've come up with some great ideas later in the process and you've really hustled to get them together. But I got to say, not blowing smoke, but Josh really has put a lot of creativity into this entire project and a lot of heart and soul. And he has got a lot of attention to detail, and he is very much a perfectionist. So I think it's really going to pay off on everyone, because we want everyone to feel special. Like we've said before, we can't say it enough. And I know it's hard to take our word for it, but this isn't about celebrating Josh and I. Like Josh and I, like, yes, we appreciate people getting to know.
It's about celebrating community.
It's literally about, we're so excited for everyone's reactions to what they're like, how they're going to feel. We want them to feel like so many of the creators in this space, and we've said it before, they're not getting invited by Disney to things, even though we think they absolutely deserve it.
Even more so than us, yeah.
We want them to feel like this is your moment. Like we want you to know we're acknowledging
this is your moment.
You're an awesome content creator, and you have chosen
that the ceiling can't hold us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Guys. Guys,
Wicka, 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 wicka. Everybody love that?
and we're sad for the people that couldn't make it this time around, but we hope to be able to do this frequently.
No, we are definitely blessed to know so many great creators in the space and be able to link up with them and just see everybody grow together and make this community informative where we all feel like we all found each other like the same time. And the people we found the other people we found, and we all put them together. And they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they
That
two
box in a box.
and then put that in the box, and then smash it with a hammer. No, but I think this is definitely something that we will remember for a long time, and won't be the last
And if
thing
you
we
think
do.
when it's over, you're going to be done hearing us talk about it, wrong.
No, because we'll be in recapped episodes, unboxing everything we learned at Festival of Friends.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of unboxings, we have these Topps Neon. Okay, you can't see if you're listening to us, but we have Topps Neon 2026. Now, this is a new set out from Topps. I happened to order myself some. I ordered some boxes of them. They're about $24, I think, a piece, the boxes, which isn't bad for these little, I forget what they call them, value boxes. So the other ones go for like 150, like the hobby boxes where you can be guaranteed to get something like that.
Yeah.
Now, these could be hit or miss.
It says
And-
35 total cards, 2 exclusive Diamante parallels guaranteed per box.
So it's definitely, and we'll go through as we're talking about some stuff and kind of open these up. And we'll get to show you some cards.
I don't even know what I'm looking
Yeah, I'm opening one up. You can hear it on thing, very
opening
ASMR.
one
I'm trying to keep it away from the microphone so it doesn't take over. But
I'm opening it. Too. I got a Remy!
you got a Remy? Nice.
Yes! Yay!
So looking through these, there'll be different like special cards. This one I feel like is one of the poopy packs. Like
I
it's like Mufasa, Tigger,
Milo from Atlantis,
Wingo.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Uncle Scrooge, and
I
then
got a Remy.
Jim Hawkins.
Keeping it.
For all you Jim Hawkins fans,
I got Ducky and Bunny Diamante. Who's your Diamante?
I didn't get one.
Oh,
it's
well,
it's
I
only
got it.
per box. It's
Oh.
per box.
Lucky me.
If that's even what that is. I don't know if exactly they
Yeah,
describe it. It's a
exclusive.
prism.
Okay, well, whatever.
Right.
That's what I got. Okay, who else am I getting here?
I feel like Gina, I know the reveals in this. You got to do the slow roll on people.
Oh, well, I mean, it's only an hour-long show.
No,
We have
you're not
other
gonna
things.
take
So
an
there's a
hour.
whole hour of unboxing.
Let's see.
This,
who's-
I'm getting good cards. Because I got the 30th anniversary Powerline card.
Oh, yeah.
Goofy movie.
So
That's a
I
good
got,
one.
let's see, Bunsen Honeydew
Oh,
and
that's
Beaker,
cute.
Hudson. Let's see, Peter the Panda, and Sebastian as he falls off here, and Mr. Incredible.
I'll go through all mine so people can see them on the screen. I got Ducky and Bunny, either Diamante or Prism. I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure
guess
which.
whatever it is.
I got Milo from Atlantis. I got Dr. Doofenshmirtz, which I guess is from
amazing nature.
Perry the Platypus. I got Frozone.
Where's my super suit?
I got the Alibrije Dante. I got Flash, the sloth from Zootopia. Ben from I don't know what.
Is it Wally or something like
I
that?
think so. It's I don't know. Treasure Planet. Treasure
Okay,
Planet.
that's what it was.
And then Donald Duck. Phenomenal.
All right, so I'm opening this one. We'll go through and we'll just do it in front of the camera.
Okay.
So I got Max right
Yay.
here, and then I got a Minnie Mouse. I wish I could got her.
Ooh.
So this one I got is Pleakley. Okay,
You?
again another one from. I guess this was the one from Stitch. So I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
I can't remember every character. So then we got Isabella and Joe Gardner from Soul.
Joe Dirt. Just kidding.
Dang,
Joe
that's
Gardner. Joe
dig it.
Dirt's cousin. I got Sully. Then I got Candace, who's from Phineas and Ferb.
You get Chicken Little.
I got Chicken Little. Then I got Moonwind from, I don't know what, he's Joe Gardner's friend. And Captain Hook. Captain Hook. Chicken Little is like a, I don't know what you call that
Yeah,
kind of
foil
card.
card.
Foil card, yeah. I guess.
So here's Sour Bill right here
Yeah.
from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, okay.
Then you've got Randall. Monster Lake.
Randall.
And I got 30th anniversary of the Goofy movie, and it's Bobby Zimmerowski or Zimrowski. card.
That's cute. These are cute because I like that they're not all just like.
And then Moana. And let's see, what's that, Bernie?
They're a nice range of characters. You know what I mean? So I got my next pack. I got Joy. I got
And Pain.
I got Launchpad McQuack. I got Lilo and Nani.
No Stitch for you.
Right. I got the King from Cars and Jiminy Cricket, who doesn't get nearly enough love in the Disney universe.
That's Kida or Kidda.
So everyone's avoiding their conscious.
There's that one. They got Bolt. Bolt's in there.
Bolt.
Oh, we got a foil card of the Kakamora from Moana.
That's a weird one to make a foil up. Some of these foil ones, it's
Peter
weird.
Pan.
Weird what they
And then Wally. Hopefully we hit a banger in this or whatever for like so
How do we
limited
know
like.
which one's the bangers?
Well, whatever you get, hopefully it's just keep in good condition and it'll be like one of one or something like that.
I got Baymax. Oh, Kermit. I got Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog.
I got Captain Gantu. And then I got Isabella and Zurg. So this pack was not good except for Kermit.
Okay, so I got Red. Guessing that's from Descendants or something.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
She has a whole
then,
movie.
I got the Dumbo little card here.
Oh, that one's cute.
I got
like
Mrs.
that one.
Potts and Chip.
Chip.
And then the Beast. And Boost. Cars.
Oh, that's cute. Okay. I've got 2 packs left. All right. So next I have. Oh, it's Pepe. Frank would love this card. He loves Pepe the shrimp.
Pepe the shrimp.
So I've got Pepe. I've got Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph's. Oh, this one's like a sketch card. It's called Manga Madness.
What does it say?
A Manga Madness
Is
card.
it a limited card?
DJ. It says collect all 15 Manga Madness cards.
No, okay. It's not.
So, and then I got Lodo and Gaston.
Gaston. All right. Let's see. Bloofy and Pouchy. Let's see. And then Kirby. And then another one, Mal and Maleficent.
Oh,
from
okay, from Descendants.
Mulan and Hector.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love Hector.
Remember me.
Okay.
When I have to say goodbye. Remember me.
I am down to my last pack.
I just opened mine.
Okay. And so I have Demona.
Funny how some of these more modern things.
Don't
Like,
care.
"Hey,
Gargoyles. Don't care. Okay. Powerline, a different Powerline card. I'm getting the Powerline. Okay, then I got Wilbur Robinson. It's a little, I guess, is this a Diamante? Is this considered a Diamante?
Yes.
Okay, then
Who
I got
is it?
Wilbur Robinson.
Is it numbered or anything on there, or is it just
No.
regular card up there?
No,
Some of them have like a
Simba and Mufasa.
nice
And then Dory.
story. All right. Well, that's
I didn't show
fun.
you my Wilbur Robinson card.
Well, that's a fun
Nice and
one.
Sparkly. Yeah, these are fun, Josh. These are really fun.
I'll put them in
Thanks
my
for
big
getting
pile
these.
of cards.
I'm keeping the ones that I like.
Oh, thanks.
Well, on my desk. I'm not taking. I do think we should give Frank the Pepe the Shrimp one.
Yeah, right.
He would appreciate it. He loves He loves some Pepe the Shrimp.
The shrimp. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna move on to what spaghetti. Here comes an idea. All right. Gina, what do you got for wet spaghetti?
Guys,
Ugh.
actually, my wet spaghetti is inspired by our last episode, something that you were saying. I heard that Hollywood and Vine Cafe is going to change their character offerings and go back a little bit more to the original theming of that theme park. And they're going to have old school celebrities. So it'll feel like maybe you're having a meal with Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, so like Jack
or
Rabbit Slims
Yes,
from,
exactly. So
from
you'd have
Pulp
like
Fiction.
Elvis, and you'd have James Dean, and you'd have Marilyn Monroe, and Lucy Ricardo, Lucille Ball. Like that I heard is what they're going to do at Hollywood and Vine to kind of mix it up a little and make it a little bit more
Adult.
adult, but even just
All the kids are like, we
a
ain't
little
coming here for
more
this.
Hollywood, a little more Hollywood inspired. They can
Yeah.
also just do it at Jollywood Nights too. Not that that's geared as a Disney adult thing, but I think it would be fun to bring a little bit more of the classic Hollywood vibe back to that park. 'Cause
Oh,
God knows
absolutely.
I'm not sure what the actual theme of that park is. It's just kind of like, I don't know, Disney movies, I guess.
Sort of. I don't know,
Kinda.
disjointed. It's disjointed. But I heard my wet spaghetti being that Disney's actually going to add the proto hologram technology that's on. If you go on Instagram, you go to proto hologram. And they're going to add that in the park so you can interact with your favorite animated characters. So they'll have them in there. You're in front of the screen. It looks like they're 3-dimensional, but they're in a box, and they actually speak and talk to you and interact and do things based on your prompts. So it's actually like talking to them in real life, because we all know you can't really talk to the characters in costume, but there they could. So we're going to put those throughout the
That's
park
fun.
where you can actually
Kind of like
interact with.
Crush.
Yeah. So you can interact with those characters, which I think would be a really fun addition to the parks.
That'd be fun. and
Especially
very
in Villains
family
Land when I
friendly.
told to put it begin with. So if somebody
Very
pops up like a villain, can you talk to
I
them?
still love that idea for the underworld of, like you said, like almost like a magic mirror on the wall and different characters popping up because you could rotate through it and have them.
You could do it as a
interactive.
quest thing through Villains Land too. Like, so if you even had like one of those mirrors and you go to things like the Pirates little quest you can go through before, when you had a free lightning lane, now they took it away.
They give it.
Yeah, well, they do that when something gets out there like,
Somebody
guys, you can do
ruins
this
it.
now. We're taking it away. But those kind of things, like same thing you did through Epcot. You can go through the quest with like Phineas and Ferb, or what was the other one? It was Kim Possible. You go through and do all these things in there. It could activate that, and different little quests could come out. Same thing with Disney Cruise. They have that stuff. You can go from deck to deck to deck and do all these little things. And Pepe's room is on it too on the Disney ship.
Yes.
So you see there. But getting into our topic for the week, and it is, what can Disney do to compete and go past Epic Universe? What is it, in our opinion, that they could do and they could add to really give them that easy win against them? Because I feel like Disney, to me, has a lot in its arsenal it's not using. It's like literally, you're getting punched in the face by somebody that knows some mixed martial arts, but you've got like a bat and a gun, and you're not using either of them.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, here trying to put up your hands. I know it's a weird analogy, but you're like, let me swat them away, and like, maybe I'll do this and blind them with footwork. No, I'm like, smack them in the head with the bat or shoot them. I'm like, and this is what you got to do. But that's like kind of what's at Disney's disposal. They have an incredible catalog of IP stuff. Just in Marvel alone, the Marvel catalog is like thousands of characters
Yeah.
that they can use, they can utilize. I know in Florida it makes it hard because of the stuff they had with Universal, which I feel like that's going to be worked out anyway, because of the fact they're already getting rid of certain things in Universal. And one of the talks of them is getting rid of like Simpsons. So Simpsons is going to come out. They're wondering if that's going to go to a future park in Disney World, because it would be a draw for that. So you can see that stuff from the Fox IPs and all come into the parks. I just feel like Disney can, the one way 100% in my mind that Disney can do this is if they really go immersive. Like, so you make a land, don't make a land a generality. Make a land fixated on a certain point, just like Harry Potter was. It wasn't Harry Potter / King Kong. It was Harry Potter. Like, this is where you're in Diagon Alley. You're in, Hogwarts. This is what it was, because it was separate from it. And things could link up. But this was far better than saying, okay, you're in Fantasyland. You're around Dumbo. Now you're around Winnie the Pooh. Now you're around this. Now you're around that. Here's Snow White. Not the same kind of feel. But if you go immersive into a movie and say, all right, we're going to do the thing like with, name the IP, it doesn't really matter, but it makes you feel like you're in their world and doing that. I feel like that would go over even better, and theme restaurants around that stuff, and then get it to be that more immersive feeling. That's one of the things I think off the bat they can do, is just redefine what their immersion is, because they did it with Pandora. They made it so you felt like you were sitting there on Pandora, and you're around here, all the trees, everything, the bioluminescence, the attention to detail, decent food too, because Satuli's pretty good. So I would rather see go that direction. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think that immersion is where the miss is, because I think Disney used to do it consistently well. Even if it was just a matter of Magic Kingdom being something general like Fantasyland, that area, from sight lines to the way the sidewalks were different, the paint colors, every fixture, trash cans, it was thought out. I do agree with you. There's something far more immersive about being really specific. And one of the things I've mentioned before is their Disney Channel IPs. So if you look at, when you're just opening the cards, Descendants, Zombies, movies that do so well. And when Disney is trying to target a certain generation, I feel like if you could walk into like Seabrook and Zombie Town, like that from that movie, and be able to feel like, because that's what we loved about an MGM walking on New York Street, or
That
like
was great when you were a kid.
like what was it called, the backlight with the street, what was neighborhoods, what was it called, you know what I'm saying, like where the little houses were, and Streets of
Oh,
America,
gotcha.
whatever. Things like that, like you felt like, oh, this feels like I'm there. You said Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Playground. people want to feel like they're somewhere. Even if it was back to when MGM, when you first walked in, you were like, this feels like I'm in Hollywood in the old heyday.
It's a lot
And so as
different.
they've dumbed things down and made it more
It all started with that hat. They put that hat in the middle of Hollywood studios and they just never went back. It's like, they're like, here, that hat destroyed
It's
it.
so funny
If you
when
like
people
the
love that
hat, you
hat,
know
though.
what?
So many
Go
people
find
love that hat. So many people love that hat but I will say, for us that loved it as MGM and didn't like what the hat did to disrupt that vibe,
I
other
like
people
pretending I was
loved it.
wearing it down the street.
Right. Other people loved it because it just felt like really magical, major. But my thing is, you can either go way over the top with something like the hat, or you can go immersive theming like MGM was, but you can't dial it down to where things just feel like a strip mall and generic. Like,
Yeah.
remember when you used to go in the shops in MGM and they each felt like they had an individual identity? And now they've kind of got to where they all just feel like gift shops. They don't feel like as individual. And you're like, they all just kind of feel the same. So it doesn't just affect the attractions, but it is down to, like we talk about the poop river. That's such a silly little thing, but it was showing that thought was put into, hey, even if it's just for conversation purposes or putting the lanterns in the tree or whatever it may be, the music changing as you go from place to place. But I do think that Disney, other than Pandora, and other than obviously Animal Kingdom, I mean, Animal Kingdom has created, with the safari specifically, a majorly immersive
Yeah.
situation there where you're like, wow, I'm on safari. But I do feel like there's something
When you
that's
get
not
off of
giving
Safari, you have now safared.
what you were just saying. I do feel like they are missing that thing that when you walk in, you're like, holy crap. Other than, like I said, those two examples where it's like, wow, because we all thought that's what Galaxy's Edge was going to be. And I don't think
Now you
they
say that,
gave
I
you
want to
that.
remind everybody that this is TV 14.
But I say, what? You
You say crap. I don't care. I'm just saying it's TV 14. Keep it clean to
I
TV
don't
14.
think that they hit that mark on Galaxy's Edge. I mean, I know they didn't. The way that it was touted. It was touted like it was going to be Disney's answer to Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's like fun to go and see if you're a Star Wars fan. And I'm sure seeing the Millennium Falcon is amazing for Star Wars fans. But overall, the immersion and interactive that they told you it was going to be is not there.
I feel like they're, other than
But they
that, like
could
middle
fix that.
section with like the little marketplace kind of area, and you've got little vendors there. I feel like they could do a little more of that in there too. Have
Yeah,
different
they
stops and
could
opening
fix
things.
it very easily. Very easily.
I think it's great. Like, I love it. I love Galaxy's Edge. I think it's
beautiful.
seeing the Millennium Falcon there and then having
Yeah.
Olga's. Olga's should have been a lot bigger than it is. It should
Yeah,
also encompass
sure.
a restaurant
And the band.
and the band in there. It's just they made it a hole in the wall. I feel like later expansions should allow for making that much bigger.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, it's like the time limit stuff is dumb in most of these restaurants. It is. It's just, to me, it's not. I don't like that in Olga's, and I don't like that in Beacon Barrel. I feel like, listen, everybody has FOMO about stuff, and the same applies to restaurants. Just because this is themed, people go, they can't get a restaurant reservation. Okay, well, be on the next
I
time.
think
and
it's
do
the
it.
money thing for them. They don't want people lounging around and nursing the same
The
drink.
drinks are expensive anyway.
Right. So they're like, well, I
You're
don't want
paying
you to come
your
sit at
$20
this
for a
table
drink.
for 3 hours and nurse the same cocktail. I think that's why they do the time limit.
By the way, the Barrel Ablaze thing, I became a believer in that drink at Beacon Barrel. So I'll take back what I said about it not being good. Apparently they had a bad batch or something, 'cause they're all batch cocktails. So if you go, I know this is kind of off topic, but if you go there, everything's already pre-done. Like all these things, you're not getting a mixed cocktail from the bar because they couldn't service that many people. They just have it's already pre-made. They pour it into a glass and give it to you. So all this stuff is made before.
Something our friends have said too, and I know Callie felt this way about Epic, is it's like, even for somebody like me who hasn't been there yet and can't ride a lot of rides because of contraindications with my neck and stuff, which is, a bummer when you're spending that extra money.
The immersion's a little
But
bit.
it's like the vibes. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you could go and enjoy that park just for the vibes, which people tend to feel about Epcot, and I think felt it even more back in the day. But World Showcase, they're like, oh, you could just go for the vibes. You don't have to necessarily get on stuff. It could just be vibes. So I think that the Galaxy's Edge thing is an easy fix. I think it's really just take back to what your original promises were. Make it a little more interactive. I know in Disneyland they've added like Darth Vader and things like that. Like maybe just making it more just characters showing up, because we've talked about street.
Well, that's why I had to put the Mandalorian in there and put Grogu, because first of all, I will die on this hill as the Mandalorian is the best Star Wars piece done ever.
Not Rogue One.
ever, 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 ever. And I'm telling you right now, I'm like, that whole series with it, I think is the best thing they produced, including the first three,
Yeah.
the middle three movies, including them. I'm
Okay.
like, Mandalorian is
Take your
that
word
good.
for it.
And it's funny how Jon Favreau was able to save not only the Marvel universe but the Star Wars universe in the same vein. Because I'm like, this guy, like everything turns to gold. I mean, Iron Man was the basic, the jumping off point of the MCU because they had already sold the stuff to Sony for like a song for like Spider-Man, everything else. They're like, oh, what can we do with Iron Man? They did it. That's the other thing. I would love to see whatever like court things they got to go through to be able to do stuff in Florida. That's where I feel like that fifth gate. I have a sneaky suspicion if they can pull it off, it's going to be like a Marvel Universe park because because you got Disney IP all throughout the other stuff, and you have a little mixed in here of Marvel. But if they can do something with a Marvel IP in there,
No doubt. I agree.
they can go through and they have a huge arsenal because that's multiple Earths, that's multiple, different backgrounds of characters and different towns and all these kind of things and different kind of things that link up to each other. That's a huge amount of things already written for you.
Yeah.
So why not go and take advantage of it? Plus, you've got really, really talented people. I know we went off before. And we were talking like, one of my hot takes was about, Andy Park from the visual part of the MCU, where he got let go by Disney. And I'm like, because they're outsourcing. A lot of people thought, and this is a separate topic again, a lot of people thought that was based on replacing with AI. No, that is not. That was not the case. And you can say it till you're blue in the face. It was not the reason they did that. They were just going to opt to outsource that stuff instead of keeping a full-time department on this as they kind of dwindled down what they were making. Because there was a lot of money tied up in that. And then the last few movies have kind of been crappy. So like, we can't pay this right now. And as a company, we're going to expand here and they'll probably build it up again. And I'm sure these people will call back. But I digress. But immersion, I feel like Disney could do that. And you think about like the stuff they're trying to do with like Piston Peak. When you go to that, like that's gonna be Cars thing, and the same thing, Cars in Disney California. You're like, that kind of feels like that when you go down the street. It's a little bit more immersive. I want to see them get to that, but I also want to make it so immersion means you can't see the rest. When you say, "Oh, I feel like this," but then I look over and it's the same principle as Morocco being painted the same, or that Tower of Terror being painted the same color as Morocco. So when you look in the skyline, it looked like it was a part of Morocco. That kind of stuff makes sense. But when same deal with Harry Potter, you go through like a behind a wall and you're like, oh, here it is. Or you take the train to one station to the other.
I saw more people posting on social media when Epic opened about the queue of Ministry of.
I said it was rumored to cost like $1 billion
But
for that queue.
I saw more people posting about the queue than even the ride. Like that's the impact that queue made on people, that they were like, wow, like that says something, and Disney can do that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And again, you and I have talked about separately outside the podcast that it's a tough time for us right now because, after doing this for a year, we don't want to feel like we're always talking about what Disney's doing wrong. But to be fair, obviously we love it. We wouldn't keep going if we didn't. But to be fair, we are in a little bit of a lull right now as Disney fans, and other Disney fans would tell you that. Again, why do we say bring back the magic? Because we are in this kind of holding pattern of being those fans that have waited and waited and waited and received a lot of empty promises and received a lot of promises that were half delivered. So it's not unfair, and it's not being like, oh, we're a trash cast, we're pulling apart. No, it's us saying, look, this is us constantly offering semi-intervention of being like, hey, we love you. We are here. We are diehards. We are lifelongs.
Mm-hmm.
We're just trying to offer you a little constructive criticism. And let's be real. There's a lot of people in the world that can't handle constructive criticism and just think, oh, I guess I'm just never getting anything. No, but do you want to just go on your path of like where you are without assuming that there's anybody that might have
like you just said, when
insight?
we're going through the cards, you pull out Powerline. I'm like, what have you guys done with it? And like everybody loves this. It's like it's become like this cult
Right.
classic stuff, and everybody's like, I wanna have more of this. They just don't. And I'm like, go do more of that. You
Why
look at
isn't he
Disney
having
small,
nighttime
they should be
dance
taking a
party?
cue from all these Disney small shops and everything else that are producing like different materials for different movies and all. They're like, okay, here's some apparel, here's this, and they're just not doing it. Everything feels a little bit mailed in on certain things. There's certain things I love, and I'm like, oh wow, this is great. Then they hit it off with like the Spirit jerseys and all that stuff. People love those. But there's other things you're just like, why did you try this? How did you land on this? Like there was certain mystery box stuff and maybe like a shoe or something. You're like, how did you land on a shoe? Who throws a shoe, honestly? But you're like, how do these things make it past like the boardroom and say, okay, here, we're going to have some ideas we're going to throw out here. Like, what? There's things you can do. A power line ride would be awesome. And that's why with Rock and Roller Coaster, I don't know why. I mean, Keeping the Muppets is great. I'm a big fan of it because that it kept that IP there. Wonderful. But that should have been probably Powerline. And I think it would have had a bigger impact as
The irony, I mean, the truth of the matter though is I can see both sides of that, but it's a 90-second ride. Like it's not going to make or break anybody for that amount of time. Like if it's up, if it's
well,
long
think
as it's
about what you think about when you go into the queue line for Rock and Roller Coaster. That same thing. You go through GeForce Records, you do that stuff in the pre-show. That's really part of that ride. So like whether the ride's short or not, it's just like the theming. You have like the song, Powerlines, like, be awesome in that. I mean, I feel like that would be that kind of group.
I would rather see him in something more expansive. Why is there not like a nighttime dance party stage show before Happily Ever After with some big like nighttime?
Maybe another
You could put-
coaster.
Yeah, like I mean, I just feel like, as you said, it is a very. Why are we not listening more to the people that we hear them loud on social media? There's no way. For all the time, when you think back to in the 2000s, when social media manager became a job, and it was like, wow, companies are actually hiring someone to because it took off. And
Now
it's
it's
like,
the
wow,
biggest
this is
part.
a full-time job. This is no longer somebody at the company just post. It's a full-time job. So more and more companies are hiring like social media combers, basically, where it's like, go through, tell us what you see about our product. See, because one person posting, it's not enough if you have a big enough company to have one person doing all that. They can't be the person who's intaking and outputting. It's way too much to handle. But if you have somebody who's all about the intake of what is the information that's out there, what are we seeing? And then somebody kind of like secret shoppers, and then somebody who's putting all the output out there, that is vital. Like for the amount of times that people have done focus groups or sent surveys, social media is your best friend as far as what are our customers thinking? What do they want?
It's great testing
It's where
ground.
Red
They have to
Spaghetti
do
came
it.
from. We said, I think a lot of ideas Disney's done is because they did hear somebody say it enough. And again, Muppets Coaster was something that I had heard years ago, somebody saying that's who they should replace it with. So there were fans calling for that. It's just now that they've given it to them, people are saying, why isn't it Powerline?
Yeah.
And then there's same people that are going, why did you take away Aerosmith? So using a Disney IP does make more sense just because then you don't run the risk of controversy affecting your
No, I get it.
attraction.
No, I would say where you can separate now. We've talked about the immersion. We talked about some like character IP. I would also say from a food standpoint, like Epic has some really good
I've heard
ideas of how
that.
they've been doing and like the things they serve them, like Donkey Kong things, you get like the mugs, everything. They're doing better with the visuals for that. Disney could easily do that because on foreign parks where the popcorn buckets are so much more intricate, when you're making drinks and everything, people are paying the premium. And they're like, here, it could be, I'm not talking about alcoholic drinks. I'm talking about it could be slushies, whatever else. If you make things into that, like a design that corresponds with a movie or some kind of IP, you could sell tons of them because you're making more money. I would rather see them make money off people in the park buying merchandise they take with them than charging them more to get lightning lanes. Because that's how they're just trying to make more money off each person. I'm like, you can get those same dollars, but give them something that costs you pennies to make over the course because you're literally ordering in such volume. And there's nothing where Disney's like, I hope we get rid of all these things we're trying to sell. No, they sell them. It's like the Figment popcorn bucket. People might not even like the ride, but they bought that because it's iconic.
Yeah, I was actually going to say before you even brought that point up. So it was now it's piggybacking on what you said. I was going to say that it's really, if Disney wants to compete or surpass, let's say, Epic, 'cause they are competing with them. Let's say surpass. It's not even that they really need to look at Epic for inspiration. They need to look at their parks abroad. That's really the thing. Like you just said, they're nailing it there with the incredible amount of detail in the merch, the creative merch.
You know what the difference is? It's partnerships. And they're saying they're being used as a partner in that to
Right.
create
The
stuff. And the person that's asking
packaging,
for it
the
is saying, well, I
food.
want this.
Food is a big thing. When people go to theme parks, if you want them to stay there all day, feed them well. You're not having to make a beef Wellington for everybody, but it's
Now,
like
there's some solid
cafeteria
things at the
food.
festival, like festival booths. There's some solid stuff, and there's other ones you're like, where did this go? Like, there's some things that I just loved, and I'm like, oh, or them like, we're out of this part, we can't make this. I go, how are you not prepared?
Yeah.
You guys are at like max capacity most of the time now because, or like on the brink of it, because you guys have not had to slow down in traffic. And that's where they think it's good and bad for Disney because while people are coming, why do we got to change this? You're not forced to improve. But as time goes on, do you really want to be behind the eight ball when it comes to Epic? Because remember, you can't think about where Epic is doing right now. You have to think about what they're about to do and then think about what you can do past that stage. You got to be 3
Right.
steps ahead
Because
to
that's
know
what
what
Epic
your
did.
next
They
move
played
has
the
to be.
long game. They were like, look, 'cause for the longest time, and we talked about this in one of our very first
For the
episodes.
longest time.
One of our very first
Billy Joel.
episodes of the show, we talked about Epic because it was getting ready to open, and saying that, you know, with Disney and Epic, we always said back in the day, Universal's never going to compete with Disney because no one's ever going to come to Florida just to do Universal. It's you'll come for Disney and then you'll do a day or two at Universal. And now you're seeing the
Oh, they can
opposite. You're
stay, 'cause
seeing
now they
people
got
that
4
come down,
parks.
and I've had the friends that say, "Oh, I'm going to go down for a trip to Universal because they want to do Harry Potter."
Well, now they have
And then
4
they say,
parks.
"Yes, I'm going to do a day or two at Disney." And that's where Disney really needs to take note. So it's not about your friends that are already coming. It's about the people that have shifted their perspective, the out of towners that go, "Okay, well, now I'm going to be giving." Because if there's a difference between somebody spending 4 days of their vacation at your park or 2 days of their vacation
Well, I
at your
said, well,
park.
it's like when they did their France part now in like Epic, and they're like, it's better than France and Epcot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I mean, like it's built up, it looks gorgeous, and everybody's
Oh,
like, "This is amazing." You're like,
yeah.
"You're supposed to be in France." You're like, "Okay, this is," or at least I've seen that somewhere. Pretty sure that's
Oh.
accurate, but it might have been Ashley or somebody. Shout out Ashley. Somebody said that, but like it is. It's even better than that. I mean, it doesn't have ratatouille in it, but the fact is, it's
Well,
a
it
really
didn't have
good.
Ratatouille at Disney for the longest time.
Yeah.
You know, it existed and was there well before they added Ratatouille to it. So
But things like the burning blades, the tavern there, and all like just like different choices. There's a black bun. Here's this kind of thing. Those things make a difference.
they've created a lot of, and we know Disney followed suit on the Instagrammable snacks, but Instagrammable moments. So, like you said, the burning blades, the dragon that breathes fire. How many people will just capture that? It's not a ride they're on. It's nothing. It's just a moment that they're
The
capturing. saying,
fountains in Epcot.
I was here. And the carousel that they have, the celestial carousel, is that what it's called? Celestial garden. That is something. So it doesn't even have to be a ride. I mean, when you're on a good ride, you're not going to get a great POV of it. If it's something you will, but people more often than not love those quick, I could put a little music over it and capture, put a little text on the screen, whatever, and this is it. And Disney could use a couple more of those kind of moments. Like if you think Spaceship Earth, obviously, is a big one that people love to capture. The monorail going by,
Mhm.
fireworks.
You know what the Disney could use? A couple hard pipe hitting mothers, to go over to Comcast and hit them in the ankles. Be like, oh, here, don't mess with us anymore. That's what they need. They need some gangster tactics. It's a hard pipe
But
hitting.
like at Hollywood Studios, what's the iconic moment there that people capture? Maybe the tower dropping. What is it? What is the moment at
No, it
Hollywood
used to be, remember in the
Studios?
background, we have the Eiffel Tower. That's gone.
Right,
which I
but
don't
like
know
a
why they
moment,
were-
like something happening, an action moment. Because at Epcot, it's the ball lighting up at night. It's Spaceship Earth not even know it's the monorail going by. At
Some people will be
Magic
like, oh,
Kingdom, it's
Slinky
definitely going to
Dog,
be the
like
fireworks.
going past everybody
Maybe,
coming
yeah.
down there.
It's definitely the fireworks at Magic Kingdom.
It's
yeah.
the opening of some of the ships, like Kylo Ren's ship or whatever, coming down there, like him coming out on stage, or like the Millennium Falcon, like starting up. Those kind of things, I guess.
So
would be-
I think there's just not enough. Like when we're saying the whole episode is not let's pick on Disney. It's what could Disney do
No, I think they have
to
everything.
compete.
I think they
and
have
so
the
we're
budget.
we're meant to be throwing out ideas of here's something you could try.
I think they have the budget to do a lot of things. And I think even with the Simpsons, let's say they put the Simpsons over there now because of Universal not having them or getting rid of them. So if they put them in there, do something better than they did. Make wherever you're gonna do, if it's in a fifth gate or wherever, make something like, the Duff, beer tavern or whatever kind of thing, and make it a beer garden, but Duff. You could do those things. I know it all relates to drinking, but you could make some really fun things and make Springfield like an entire area and go through every little part of that, from the school to like the police station,
If you could
the
pick
house.
one IP of Disney, and I feel like I know you've already touched on Marvel, but let's just say across the whole Disney owned universe, and you could create a land that was heavily immersive of something owned by
Pirates.
Disney.
Pirates, 100%.
Okay.
It would be 100%, basically equivalent to what Shanghai did, because they made like a whole pirates land. But it's do that way, like make it and do like an entire land in whatever park and just make it pirates.
I think that's actually a great idea because Pirates is obviously a very loved ride and attraction, but then also we never knew that could be until Pirates that you could take a storyline from a ride and turn it into an entire film franchise successfully like that. Usually it's the reverse, right? You have a film franchise and you make a ride. But that's the one they did it best with. Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise tried and they did fine, but they didn't do it at the level the Pirates did. And so the idea that, and also pirate theming in general, like we've seen it on the Disney cruises with Pirate Nights, or if you go to a party, Pirates is a very easily accepted
Yeah.
kind of like theming. So it's like, oh, let's go to the tavern. Why Beacon Barrel's so popular? It's like, oh, let's go to the tavern. Like I really feel like you could
Red
expand on
light
that.
district.
Of course,
Of
exactly.
course.
I think that you could expand on that very well. So I do think that is a great
No, I think
one.
that could work. And the other thing is there's no complications with that when it comes to IP. There wasn't any kind of like thing where like, oh, who owns this? There's no question of that.
Right.
Like Disney's 100% owner of Pirates of the Caribbean. So you could go through and do whatever you wanted in there. And I feel like it should come to whatever they do. They should build upon that a little bit more. And
Yeah.
it could be in two places. I mean,
And
it's
I
fine.
want to see, because Villains Land, Monstropolis,
They've got to really hit it out of the
Piston
park
Peak
with Villains Land. They've got to
can
do something
really
next level
be-
technology.
Yes, they really need to make it where when we walk in, we're like, this is what we've been waiting for. And the problem is sometimes I think when you're working on something, you are so close to it that when you start removing things, you forget what the view of someone who was watching it from far away, right? So you're like, okay, because that's the problem with projections. When you show somebody and say, here's a detailed drawing of what it's going to look like, and then you forget you gave them that picture in the mind, and then you keep scaling back, scaling back, scaling back, and you look at the finished product and go, this looks great, but you forget your customers, your fans, your guests were looking at what their anticipation was. So if you'd never given them that, maybe like it's almost like, oh, we've talked about under promise, over deliver.
Should.
But there should be no reason with all the price hikes, with all the,
I feel
people
like they
coming
need to
in,
start giving back. And that's the thing.
that we should, because that will be the thing that people are first. Okay, perfect example. Big Thunder Mountain just reopened yesterday?
It broke down. Yeah.
I didn't know that part, but the line to get in, first of all, it was very funny to me that it said 60 minutes and it was like the line was back to like Country Bears. I was like, how is this a 60-minute line when
Because
I've
there
been
was
in a
little to
60-minute
no-
line?
So it was little to no lightning lanes, and some of the invited guests got lightning lanes to get on it. So if you're hosted or like they could get on it, but it wasn't a long lightning lane line. So the trains could continuously go.
But my thought was, the reason I asked that is because back in the day, before lightning lanes or fast passes were ever a thing, if you waited 60 minutes for Thunder Mountain, you were still like at the start of the building. So that's why I was like, why is this?
Yeah.
But either way, there were also people who were spaced out like it was COVID. I go, why is this line so spaced out? But anyway, people, you saw the videos, were bum rushing to get on it. And my thought was, I love Thunder Mountain, but why do you need to be the first? One, we all know content creators want to be the first ones to showcase anything. But it was like, that ride's going to be there later in the day. Nothing's going to happen in that amount of time. But it just goes to show that a ride that's been there forever, reopening, even with minimal changes, people will haul what to get there and get on it. They're so so excited about it. So when you think about Villains Land,
they'll run their
the
you-know-what off.
anticipation of Villains Land,
Yeah.
like that's I think the biggest project that people have been looking forward to that Disney's announced in a long time, other than when they announced Galaxy's Edge.
I think they have the ability right now to do more, and they just were kind of sitting and waiting. They're just complacent for too long. And I feel like now they're forced to do more. So Villains Land has to live up to the hype. So that's why I'm glad Josh was like, we're going back and doing this. We have to do it because I guess it was pretty safe, probably what they were doing. You're like with Epic opening and saying, this is not, you've got to do something. It's more like they could really, that was the best thing they could have because it showed Universal's hand saying, here's what we're doing. And everybody's loving it. Now you're going to have to surpass it. And at least your competition was because they opened before you. So now I would say, Disney, go back to the drawing board, make something bigger and better. And we talked about the technological things they could do as far as look at Snapchat filters and all what they do on your phone. You could do that in cars and rides. You could make it look like a villain's riding with you, just like the Haunted Mansion does in Window. You could do a lot of things, or like the pictures, you could have like the characters with you. Like when you do PhotoPass, you could do a lot of things that are just fun and easy to get accomplished. But also hope it's not like, I hate to say it, I hope it doesn't suffer from like the Navi River ride, which is like a beautiful aesthetic in there, but it's not an exciting ride. It just isn't. It's not that long. I mean, it's okay, but it really doesn't give you a feel of what it should have. I mean, the animatronic in there, amazing. But I mean, is it like, remember I made the mistake of getting that one, not Flight of Passage, when they first had the option? I'm like, oh,
I think
wrong.
what's a struggle, this is actually, I think, an important point when it comes to Disney is, okay, so Navi River is not very long, but I will say the entire ride is themed out as you're going through every inch. So sometimes I think Disney thinks we'll give you a shorter ride, but fully immersed, or you get a long one that's a lot of empty space. And there should be no reason why they can't give us both a little bit longer ride and theming all the way throughout, because I really do believe, I have such faith in Disney, and it's hard because it's like being in a relationship where you keep like believing someone's gonna come through for you.
I know they
and you're
will. I have
like,
no doubt about it. I know they're
but
going to
I
do it.
think like if they could really, and I get it's tough right now because in the technological age we talk about back before high tech stuff, I feel like I would say that Test Track was the first ride I remember frequently breaking down at Disney and needing a reboot and a long
Oh, it's got all
reboot.
these computer controlled rides.
Computer
Yeah.
controls. And it was like, this is weird because you didn't see. You might get a little pause sometimes on Horizons or Spaceship Earth, but they weren't major breakdowns. Talk about Haunted Mansion.
Well, now it's more towards people, everybody and their mother having a scooter now that's not actually prescribed scooters.
Yeah, but I
It's
mean
something
like
that's
breakdowns where they
recreation,
say
yeah.
temporarily closed, temporarily closed.
Yeah.
So I think that the struggle is you want the technology, but the technology, just like we've seen, even with ChatGPT, people rely on it. And it's like, it's not always
Not
right.
always accurate.
It's
no.
not always accurate. And then people get frustrated at that because they don't want to do it themselves. They want to like shortcut, and then they get mad when the shortcut doesn't come through. But more and more technology has become less and less reliable.
Oh,
The
sure.
main mechanics of just the standard, like this is the wheel went around for a long time. The wheel invented when and still is just as reliable, still works
Hey,
the
that
same way.
doggone wheel.
Right. But, or like the water things, the wheels, like the old school technology that is better than all these microchips that confuse.
No, it's
'cause you gotta figure,
reliability. That's the thing.
they run on frequency, and the amount of things running on a frequency have got to be like hitting basically a super highway that they're creating traffic jams. It makes sense to me. But I think that you want to see the great technology, but really where I think that Disney could really level up is decorate it right, and then the entertainment. Put the cast members out there. They are here. They are humans. Put them out there and give that element. I think people would be so into it, because if you give me like animatronics everywhere, like people are upset about the Olaf animatronic at the animation studio as opposed to a real animator, and I'm with it. I would rather see a real animator sitting there showing off their skills and having human interaction. We get enough technological interaction these days. We need more human interaction. You can't replace everybody with a robot. And it's kind of funny though, and maybe this is a hot take, the same people that get mad when jobs get replaced with AI are the same people that in their own lives are replacing people's jobs with AI, right? Like they're like, oh, I can do this with technology. I can do this. I can do this. They're replacing their own skills with AI.
Well, there's people I see that complain online. There's some large creators who'll say stuff. People I follow that I like, and I still like their stuff and everything else. It'll go off on AI.
I get it. AI is never going to be able to create
it's
the
not,
heart.
No,
that
it's
a human
not. But
being
it's like I see people as like, oh, AI is this, and if you support this, and I'm like, here, let me be honest with you. It's the same creators in there that use stuff that border the line of IP, which is IP infringement, which is a big deal. And they're like, oh, you can do this. Some things they might license. There's other things that you don't. You can't put like Star Wars logos on a product. You can't put, Mickey Mouse on things. You can't do that stuff because it's against the IP. And if they catch you doing it, they will put a cease and desist, and you won't be able to put up your stuff, and you'll be under watch at that point. So it's you got to be careful. So am I against things? But I'm saying if you're going to make an argument for AI or IP things and all this stuff, I'm like, it all goes together. I'm like, it's fine. You're not hurting anybody on certain things. I'm like, because not everybody possesses the skill to be like, oh, I can draw all this stuff. And you can't afford to hire somebody out and say, because those rates are so high. The same reason why people manufacture overseas, because they did to this, but you have to give us this, this, and this. He goes, well, I can't, there's no profit in it for me. So I got to find a way that makes it profitable. It sucks because it just is what it is.
It's kind of funny because back in the day when I would call somewhere, I was so thrilled when it was automated because I was like, oh, good. I hope this is automated. I don't feel like talking to a person. And now I'm just the opposite. Now when I call somewhere, like when I called TSA the other day about mom's thing, and I tried to do the automated thing, and it was like, what can we help you with? And I said, questions. And it said, you said breast milk. And I was like, what? And it said, what questions?
What the hell number were you calling, lady?
It was TSA, because I guess people do ask about transporting the liquid.
What does the TSA stand for?
Because of getting the liquid
You
through.
called T&A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, T&A.
But I was like, "Ugh, God, I just want to talk to a
For
human
press
being. I
milk
want
press
talk
one.
right.
So
I
what
just
was this number?
I just want to talk to a human being about all this, So it's kind of like be careful what you wish for. You
Yeah.
want things to be easy, you want everything to be automated, but more and more, the less human interaction we're having, it's not good for us. It's not
Yeah.
good for us. So if Disney, back on topic, Disney can bring more human interaction into
Well, it's like
the
the
park. I
people
think
out like
that
on Hollywood Boulevard we talk about. It's like, the what are they called? The street mystery.
citizens of Hollywood.
Yeah, citizens of Hollywood. Using those kind of people. Yeah, that's great. Like there's immersion to that. There's more excitement. I can't believe all the stuff I forgot about Hollywood studios too, like with the Pacific Coast Pictures when we did
Yeah,
the thing
I gotta
there, or
find that
when you
video.
sang like Whitney Houston and all.
Sang just like her.
That was amazing. Brought the house down.
Iconic. I remember the line specifically when it was like,
Keep it lean. Yeah.
now get with this.
Salt, salt, and Peppa's here.
Strain of I would have rather sang that, but that wasn't Dad's pick. I would have rather sang that. I think that
That's the things we did back then.
I'm
too.
tired of well, I guess it goes both ways. You don't want to be right about the wrong things. You don't want to say, Disney's going to, poop the bed on this one and be right. You don't want to. I don't want to be right about the wrong things ever. I want to get my hopes up. I want to be excited. I don't like feeling let down when you're like, oh man, I really thought they were going to come through on that one. It doesn't matter. But I am just going to keep putting out the positive vibes and being like, Villains Land is going to blow us away. The problem
Oh, I think so.
the sad thing about Disney is you feel like when they do choose to blow you away, it's like they go, well, now you're going to pay me more. It's like we're already paying more. We're already paying too much. And that's not fair because, again, when I said about the loyalty
It's
program,
egregious now that it's over $200 a day. When you just go to like park, you're like, why?
right.
But what do you get? I'm
And
paying
the
you this
lack
money
of
for the privilege
loyalty
of walking in
program,
here, and
the
then you selling
more-
everybody lightning
Right.
lanes.
The more you go, the more you feel a little taken advantage of where they're like, well, you'll, like you just said before, they'll just keep going. They'll just keep coming. So we can just keep charging whatever. And that's what 2020 did to the world. It made everybody go, well, they will pay $55 for a mask. They'll pay $30 for a travel size hand sanitizer. They will pay $50 for a roll of toilet paper. Like it really did lock us all down in this idea that like, I can charge you whatever. You're still going to
It's
do it.
control. That's what it's all
It
designed
is.
to do.
So I think getting back to what can Disney do? I think that these new lands, even though it was sad, some of the things we had to sacrifice to get them, mainly, Muppets, for Monstropolis, I do think if they can really present it, like for example, my son is 9 years old, as you know. When we are home and we're making a bed or we're fixing up the family room before people come over, I always say to him, you'll know it's done when you would take a picture of it. Okay? You should always do everything to a level that you would take a picture of it and say, doesn't this look nice? That's how you know it looks nice.
Mhm.
So with Disney, it's kind of like if you, it should
Explains
come
why
out,
there's so little pictures of me.
right. It should come out looking like this would be our legacy. Like every person who works on it should want to say, this is my legacy. Like Josh D'Amaro, especially is the pressure on him. I mean, I know everybody is so itching for D23. Like, what are we going to get? But it's also a little bit tough because the D23s that we've gotten promises that never happened. And you can blame it on 2020, but still, why couldn't we pick that
Ooh,
back up?
lightsaber. Here's the one. Brrr, thing
Right.
up, you're
Why
like, "Oh."
can't we pick back up Play Pavilion or some of these other things? New things came out.
I feel
again.
there's going to be a lot this year announced at D23
Yeah.
that's going to give clarity because that's going to be their biggest thing. It's going to be a big moment. He's going to want to make a big splash, even though Josh is the one that handled all of D23 before.
Right.
Like when he was on stage, he's captivating.
Right.
Bob Iger's a great mind. He is not captivating when it comes up and talks on. But no disrespect to Bob, I think he's a
Well, 'cause
great
Josh
businessman.
D'Amaro feels like he's a
Josh
friend.
is a fan, and he's
Yes,
built
he-
his career from the ground up, going
100%.
through all these different management positions,
Yes.
and finally getting to this. But he lives and breathes Disney, and he gets it. So he's like when he goes around the park, he gets that guest experience, everything else, and I feel like that's the key to this to compete with Epic and blow past them.
Right.
Is saying, all right, we're thinking this. That's why the pause on villains to make it better was a good idea because you're like,
sure.
let me make sure this is exactly what I
they
put
have a
through.
good first impression of him in that role. I think. You know what I'd love to see? I do feel I think the approachability of Josh D'Amaro, the fact that the personality he puts off gives people a lot of hope. You said the very undercover boss, as I referred to it. He's been there in the parks. He's walking around. He's listening. I'm convinced he listens to our show. But what I'd like to see is what I'm going to call the Jesse Cole approach to things.
Oh, I love
Jesse
this
Cole,
banana bowl,
who owns, founder,
And
idea
it's
man
private. It's a private
behind
dude.
Savannah Bananas. And when you just look at what Savannah Bananas did just recently, and I know this seems off topic, but whatever, welcome to the show. Recently, in the same week, they played Texas A&M University, 102,000 people,
And
right?
then they popped up at like a high
And they
school.
did a pop-up for 1,000 people at a high school baseball field, right? Like that's what he's talking about. We are for everyone. He said we have everyone all over the world want, and he takes inspiration from who?
Walt Disney.
He always says, not Disney Company, Walt Disney. There's a big difference between being inspired by the Disney Company and being inspired by Walt Disney, because Walt Disney was the visionary. Walt Disney was where this was all born from. And Walt's theories aren't always what the Disney Company is doing. And I know times change and people get upset when people always say, what would Walt do? Or Walt wouldn't like this. You have to go with the times. I get that. But Jesse Cole is so, he says, what we do, everything comes back to the fan. We are not anything without them. It comes back to before every single game, because people know when they go to a Savannah Bananas game and why they're willing to do the lottery and whatever, is that they know every game before the game, the players come out and they interact with them. Every single game they go through and they do all the high fives and whatever. They know, they feel seen, they feel valuable, they feel that's what Disney fans are looking for again. They had it. They had it before. They felt so appreciated, so like family. And it went to the wayside a little as the business became too prominent. I'm all for Disney making money. They need to. I need them to. But you can't lose that experience of making us feel valued and just being like, well, if you don't come, we'll just charge everyone else who does more. That's how we make up for the loss. We just charge them more. And that hurts. That stings when you feel like you have given your life to a fandom.
Time will tell of what they're actually going to do, and we'll stay tuned to see it, because we're still going to go to Disney regardless of how they handle whatever, but it just gets a little more financially concerning when they keep raising prices.
They price people out.
And the price, like, remember, your prices all year go up. So you're like, okay, when I'm spending more gas, like I'm getting ready to drive down there. Well, as this episode airs, I will already be down there, but driving down is, a lot more expensive. I mean, when you go up to like $4 and $5 a gallon of gas, you're going to be like, yeah, it's this
right
up and back. When you have to fill up multiple times, it's a concern. But we're talking about like what Disney's gotten rid of, like Josh D'Amaro. Like, I'm sure that decision with the visual studio part of things was maybe before Josh took over.
Maybe.
But that's what you're saying. If you figured it was 1,000 people that were laid off, okay, through multiple departments, everything else, and let's say all of them were like a 6-figure kind of pay rate, which probably most of them are in the visual thing, and there was 1,000 people, that's $100 million. That's why like the pay packages were whatever, and they gave them some generous thing. But I digress. I think in summation, I feel like Disney's one key to doing this is going to be consistency and opening the wallet and just saying, let's not putting it on us, but saying, look, you guys got to believe in yourselves, because they have all the ability. They've invented technology for different things. Go ahead and cash in. Do something amazing with this and make it better than anybody could imagine. I think it starts with villains, and it also starts with going back to some of your other pre-existing things and looking at what you can do a little bit different and making things more immersive in every part of the park. And you say, okay, we got to do this. We got to focus on even like things like the snacks and the merchandise, everything. Disney loves merch. They put out a lot of really cool stuff. Now, some of the stuff's like, why did you even put this out? They can do it. They have the ability and the people.
A little too much of the rose gold ear effect too. Yeah. It's like when the rose gold ears came out, it was like, oh my God, rose gold ears. And everybody wanted them and couldn't find them. And then when they reordered, it was like, now you can trip without a rose. And then that ends up, we pay for the overage, right? It's like, oh no, well, we bought all these rose gold ear, more board license plates.
Yeah, but
I think sometimes it's that. It's like you go to a buffet and you're like, ooh, pigs in a blanket. And the pigs in the blanket run a little low. They're like, we need more pigs in a blanket. But it's like, okay, but you haven't even given a chance to see what else people might want. Or maybe you could have spent that extra pigs in a blanket money on something that would have been even more popular. And there's only maybe they ate as many pigs in a blanket as they could want. They don't need more of those,
Pigs
I know that sounds.
Pigs in a blanket.
Pigs in a blanket, chicken parm.
Yeah.
But I have every hope that Disney can do this. It's like when Michael Eisner took over and really made a change around in Disney. It all comes back to the guest. Just like we say, the guest has to deliver to the cast member. We're already paying our way. We can't get away with not paying and getting into Disney.
Yeah.
We do our part. We pay, and we need to treat the cast members right. We need to make a nice experience for them.
Yeah.
But what are we getting? We need to get what we are paying for, which is, Disney company as a whole, because it starts there, showing us appreciation, love. We're not even asking for freebies. We're just asking for stop just treating us like the cash cow and under delivering. And I don't think that's true about everything that they do by any means. You know me, I love the Grand Floridian. Like the Grand Floridian is a standout to me resort. I love it there. I think it's beautiful. I love the glow ups it's had in the ways of Citricos and the Perch and Enchanted Rose. And I love seeing that resort get that love. It's fabulous to me.
Yeah.
I love it. Grand Floridian, feel free to invite me for a free stay.
All right. I want to remind everybody that this episode is sponsored by Choice Fine Art, one of our Festival of Friends sponsors. Thank you so much for doing that, Choice. We love you for it. You can go on choicefineart.com and check out some Disney pieces, some Star Wars pieces, Nightmare Before Christmas. They got everything on there, plus contemporary artists on their contemporary section, such as Salvador Dali, Matisse, and Warhol. So make sure you check them out. Show them some love because they are incredible and they have wonderful pieces of art. Gina, tell everybody where they can find us.
You can find us if you want to watch or listen to this program. You've already found us. But we are on YouTube if you'd like to watch, and you can subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. If you just like to listen, perhaps on your commute home, you can check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please give us a follow. You'll get alerts each time a new episode drops, which is generally every Thursday at noon Eastern. If you want to follow us on social media, that would be at BBT Magic Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We do have a Facebook page, and we also have an awesome website that Josh designed and keeps expanding, which is bringbackthemagicpodcast.com.
Well done. Another episode in the books for us, and we are looking forward to our time at Festival of Friends, which you guys will get a recap of, I'm sure, in the next following episode. But until then, everybody, watch your head and step as you exit the podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.